Chapter 7, The Things We Do for Love. Oh God. The villain has a kid, one of the bystanders yells out above the crowd. Katsuki Mitsuki has a look on her face that's painted with horror. The explosive blonde's mother tries to fight forward to get to her kid. Mom, you need to stay back, it's dangerous, the hero once again orders. No, you don't understand. That's my boy in there. Mitsuki is pulled back by Inko and Masaru. Look, I know you want to save your son, but you will do no good by getting yourself killed. Midoriya has seen his mum raise her voice like that. Midoriya hears the bystanders' conversation. Wasn't that the villain All Might was fighting earlier? What? There's no way he lost. Where is he? Izuku looks at the scene in front of him with disbelief. This can't be happening. What Izuku sees next makes his stomach drop. The sludge monster has Bakugo covered with his disgusting slush. And that look on Katsuki's face. It's pleading. Horrified. Izuku's body moves without him even thinking. There's a familiar sensation of red clouding his vision once again. Izuku runs into the chaos and ignores the pleads of his mother, the Bakugos, and the heroes telling him not to go in there. He doesn't listen, and soon he is face to face with the villain. The moment the sludge monster looks into the brunette's blood-red eyes, Bakugo is dropped to the floor. Deku, what the hell are you doing? The blonde has an expression mixed with worry, anger, and relief. Kacchan, I couldn't just stand there and watch you die, is the scruffy brunette's response. Izuku pushes forward to the now terrified green slush monster. What the hell are you? The sludge villain cries out. Just then something, or should he say someone, comes flying by Izuku's face. It's all over in a flash, but Izuku could recognize those red, blue, and gold hues from anywhere. His blurry vision fades and he sees the number one hero standing before him. All Might. The hero had taken down the villain with just one punch, and he even ended up changing the weather. It looked like the number one hero was making his way over to Izuku and Kacchan, but then he froze. Is the symbol of peace shaking? Izuku looks at All Might in confusion and worry. It doesn't last long as he soon realizes why the hero is shaking and terrified. Deku, please shut off your quirk now. Izuku looks down to the also terrified explosive blonde. Oh right. Sorry. Deku closes his eyes and takes a deep breath in and lets it out slowly. He opens his eyes and sees the world without the red lens. Izuku goes over to the explosive blonde and reaches out his hand. The blonde hesitates before ultimately deciding to take the brunette's hand. After Izuku helps him up, the symbol of peace makes his way over to the two boys. Are you two boys alright? The two boys look at each other for a moment before the blonde is the one to answer. Yeah, just fucking peachy. The hero has a surprised look at the young kid's statement. Izuku can't help himself and lets out a chuckle. When the chaos is over, Izuku is chewed out by the heroes for how dangerous and stupid that was to just run in there like that. All while the blonde gets praised for his bravery. The flashy symbol of peace somehow gets away from all of the reporters and drags Izuku off where no one can see. Hey kid, I saw what you did. You saved that kid when all of the heroes just stood by. I admire that. So, the hero explains the backstory of his power and Izuku learns about One for All. I saw just how heroic you were and I have been looking for a pupil to pass my quirk onto. So kid, what do you say? The brunette tries to process everything that he had just learned. His head is spinning a bit, but he is already certain of the answer he's going to give the number one hero. No, double quote. No. No, I don't want your power. The hero has a clear display on his face of just how nervous and confused he is to be shot down so easily. Are you sure? I can give you longer to think about it if you would like. No, I've already decided. I know I can't be a hero. But if you are looking for a successor, I would recommend Kacchan instead. He's far more capable than me, and he deserves it more than anyone I've ever known. Izuku has determination in his eyes. If I may ask, who is this Kacchan you are referring to? The flashy hero queries. The guy that was attacked by the sludge villain. Anyway, I got to get back now. My mum is probably worried sick. Goodbye All Might, although I have a feeling we'll meet again. Midoriya makes his way back to the crowd of people and has left the symbol of peace with his jaw dropped on the floor. Izuku and Inko were going to walk home when Mitsuki offered for them to come over, since dinner was a bust. They agreed and now they are in the Bakugo's car. It's very crowded with 5 people taking up all 5 seats. Because there is 3 adults, Inko was stuck sitting in the back. She of course, like the angle she is, didn't mind. Damn shitty nerd, that quirk of yours is really something else. Bakugo is sitting next to Deku and he is talking quite enough for only the brunette to hear. Yeah, I guess so, Midoriya chuckles nervously. It seems like you have no problem controlling your quirk anymore. So I've got a question for you. Bakugo looks Izuku straight in his eyes. What is it? The brunette splutters. Are you going to become a hero? Huh? You have a quirk now, and a good one at that. I thought the one that said I can't be a hero. The blonde looks pensive for a moment before returning his gaze back to the scruffy brunette. Maybe, the explosive blonde starts. I was wrong. What? Kachin never admits he's wrong. There's only one explanation, I'm looking at a fake. A phony. This is an imposter and the real Kachin is probably kidnapped by villains somewhere or something. Yeah, that has to be it without a doubt. The bewilderment is shown all over the brunette's face because Bakugo rips him out of his train of thought. You can't really be thinking that you're still useless after you just made a villain literally tremble with fear. Hell, I don't know where I would be right now if your scrawny ass didn't step in. The blonde has made his point but Izuku still doesn't believe it. I can't be a hero, Kachin. Seriously, after all that you still. No. The brunette has tears welling up in his eyes. The sudden raise of his voice startled everyone in the car. Katsuki, what the hell did you say to Mitsuki? Gets cut off by the brunette. It's nothing, okay. The brunette rubs the tears away from his eyes and tries to keep a steady head as to not let his emotions get the best of him. He doesn't know what he would do if he went berserker eyes right now. The adults are still worried but they seem to understand and respect the fact that the boy doesn't want to talk about it. They eventually go back to chit-chatting, but Izuku and Bakugo sit through the rest of the car ride in silence. Izuku is sitting in class. He is distracted by the explosive blonde. And yes, he's always distracted by the boy but this time is different. This is because the blonde has been bouncing his leg up and down at the speed of light for the entire class period. When the bell rings signaling the end of class he makes way to the blonde. What the hell is up with him? Apparently he didn't even hear the bell because he hasn't even moved an inch. He's just zoned out bouncing his leg up and down repeatedly. Kachin, the blonde doesn't answer. Kachin? Hello. Izuku grabs his shoulder which seems to break him out of his trance. Whoa Jesus, what the hell Deku? Izuku is very curious now. Did you not hear the bell? It's lunchtime Kachin. The blonde gets up and rolls his eyes. Yeah, whatever. Look, I gotta ask you something in private. So let's just go to your fucking hiding spot or some. Midoriya obliges and takes him up the stairs to the roof and picks the lock. They open the door and are hit with the refreshing sensation of the cool air hitting their skin. When Deku makes way for the ladder, Katsuki grabs him by the collar of his shirt and stops him. There's no way in hell I'm going up there again. We are staying on this part of the roof, you hear? The brunette reluctantly agrees. Fine. What did you want to talk about anyway? The blonde sits down on the bench by the fence. Midoriya follows in suit. So, All Might told me what you did. He said that you turned him down but offered up my name instead. He gave me time to think about it and I don't know what to do. Oh, so that's why he's been on edge all day. I think you should take him up on his offer. The blonde looks questionably at the brunette. I would ask you why you shot him down but it probably has to do with that bullshit of you not being able to be a hero. The blonde rolls his eyes. Guilty as charged. Izuku thinks as he laughs nervously. The entrance exam for UA is in 2 weeks. He said due to that fact, I won't be able to inherit his quirk until I get in. He went on about how my body wouldn't be suited for it, and it would probably just make the exam harder. The blonde groans. It's not like you need it to pass anyway, Kachin. You're the strongest and most capable person I know. Izuku flashes him a heartfelt smile. You should be the last person to believe that, Deku. You of all people know how terrible I can be. A pained expression crosses Bakugo's face. I don't think you're terrible, Izuku speaks quietly, so it's very likely the blonde didn't hear. With this All Might shit and with what Keisha said to me, I guess I got my hands full for the time being, the blonde groans. What did Keisha say? The brunette inquires. The explosion blonde looks away bashfully with a little red growing on his cheeks. If I tell, say, you gotta promise you won't fucking tell anyone, the brunette agrees. Of course. Bakugo starts again, he asked me out on a date. Izuku freezes. He knew they were getting close, but not that close. Izuku is overwhelmed with emotions. He's upset, confused, and angry. He can't help himself from asking, what did you say? Izuku hears the answer he was dreading. I said that I didn't see him like that and that our relationship was just beginning, close friends. But then he said to just give him a chance and to just give him one date to change my mind. And I agreed. No. He's mine. No one else can have him. Hey, you good nerd. You look. Bakugo doesn't get to finish his sentence because he's interrupted as Izuku gets up from the bench. I'm fine. I just remembered something I have to do. Bye Kachan. Midoriya leaves before the blonde can get out another word. School just ended and Midoriya is on a mission. Finally he spots him, and as soon as he does, he drags the guy away from the lockers by his wrist and into an empty classroom. Hey man, what are you doing? Izuku slams the golden boy against the wall. Hey Keisha. Midoriya, what are you doing? What's going on? The golden retriever boy's face is filled with confusion and worry. Hey Keisha, you remember that favor from a while back? Well, I'd like to cash in. The golden boy looks into the brunette's eyes that are still surprisingly green. Yeah, I remember. Well, what do you want? Midoriya releases the golden boy from being pinned up against the wall by the chalkboard. Are you to stay away from Katsuki? Bakugo. So for that favor, don't go on that date with him. Midoriya looks back at the golden retriever boy getting up from the ground. Look, I don't know what your relationship with him is. And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful you helped out my sister. But I just can't do that. I finally got the courage to ask him out and I can't just throw all of that away. I love him too much to do that. The golden retriever boy is now gripping at the chest area of his t-shirt like the conversation is physically hurting his heart. His eyes are puffy with tears streaming down. I love him too. So I can't let you go on this date. Don't go, or else. Izuku leaves the classroom and slams the door behind him. It hurts him to know that he's the reason for such a nice guy to have such pained expression on his face. But he knows it would hurt even more to see the boy he holds so dearly to his heart go on that date.